Avenger star Mark Ruffalo knew he had a brain tumor before the doctors.
I said, listen, Doc, I know this is going to sound crazy.
I had this dream that I had a brain tumor.
I felt like I was going to die.
Mark hid the brain tumor from his pregnant wife.
We're newlyweds. I can't really support my family. We definitely tested every aspect of our relationship.
Jennifer, of course, caught on very quickly.
Jennifer Garner leaks why Mark almost quit the biggest role of his career.
We hated the rehearsal process so much.
My wife was about to deliver our first child.
I wasn't a parent yet, so I didn't understand the enormity of that.
I wasn't getting any better.
Why didn't Mark get surgery immediately?
20% chance of losing your facial nerve.
Complete paralysis.
The neurologist is like, you have to deal with it immediately.
Mark Ruffalo hospitalized. 1 week after the birth of his son,
Patients often pay the price.
When I woke up, I was so sick. I just heard a ringing in my left ear.
And she walked in
And I was praying, please don't take my face.
and she was like white as a ghost. I already knew.
I had this crazy dream that I had a brain tumor.
It wasn't like any other dream I'd ever had. It was literally just knowledge that you have a tumor and you have to deal with it immediately. I woke up, I was sobbing. I felt like I was gonna die. I went to the set doctor. I said, listen, Doc, I know this is going to sound crazy, but I had a dream last night that I had a tumor and I really would like to get it checked out. She's like, well, you are crazy, but I'll line up a neurologist and you'll see you're fine. I did the CAT scan. The neurologist takes her out of the room and I can hear her in the room next door. I already knew. And she walked in and she was like white as a ghost. And she's like, you have a mass behind your left ear the size of a golf ball.
We think it's operable. You have a 80% chance of losing your hearing in your left ear and a 20% chance of losing your facial nerve.
Mark was desperate to protect his family from his terrifying diagnosis.
My wife was about to deliver our first child, and so I didn't want to ruin that for her by breaking her the bad news that her husband had a brain tumor. I really kept it under wraps because it was already a lot to deal with.
And it came just when he thought his dreams were coming true.
As a young actor, I was really struggling a long time.
It was humiliating, and everywhere you went there was really, really good-looking guy. And I just wasn't the guy they were looking for most of the time.
I developed a sort of persecution complex. I just didn't feel like I was getting anywhere, and I was really frustrated. Really made it clear to me how deeply I loved acting and how utterly destroyed I would be if that was taken away from me.
I started to get little work. It was a very exciting time. My pay went up, and I quit bartending. All those things happened, and then I got a brain tumor. And that was the end of that little run.
1 week after the birth of his son, Mark was rushed into surgery.
Before I went into surgery, I was praying, please don't take my face and don't take my life, because without my face, I can't really support my family. But you could take my hearing. I just had this fear of dying on the operating table.
Mark's nightmare had just begun.
Well, when I woke up, I was so sick from the anesthesia. My heart had stopped briefly on the operating table, and I just heard a ringing in my left ear. I'd lost my hearing, and then the second day they came in, they were checking my face, and my face began to go paralyzed. So by the fourth day out from the surgery, I couldn't close my eye, and I couldn't move my face. It was confounding to my doctor. He really didn't know what was happening.
They were basically like, well, after 6 months, you probably will never get that back.
With his face paralyzed, Mark couldn't provide for his family.
I was angry. I was sad. I thought that was pretty much it for my acting career.
We were newlyweds. We had a newborn colicky baby. I wasn't getting any better. We definitely tested every aspect of our relationship and our friendship and our ideas for the future. And I would get frustrated and angry at myself.
Everything that I geared my whole life up toward seemed to be completely taken away.
Mark was so bitter about his paralysis until another dream woke him up.
I had a dream that when I punched out into the world, my fist went all the way around the world and came and smacked me in the back of the head, and started to not see myself as so much a victim. My emotional recovery also became understanding what I was made of as a man. And when you're faced with a difficulty like that, you draw upon parts of yourself that you didn't really understand that existed.
Mark realized he had to do the work to turn his life around.
So every day I'd get up in the morning and I'd try to make those muscles move, and I'd focus on them. And I'd spend an hour doing that every morning to no avail. I did every alternative thing that could find to make me feel like I was in power.
And he proved his doctors wrong.
After acupuncture one day, me and my wife were in the car, and literally I was like, I'm looking in the little mirror, and I was like, baby, look, I can move my face. I can move my face, baby! And we both burst out crying. It was the most amazing thing. All I could do is literally go like this. Just lift this at the tiniest bit. And that became, slowly but surely, it started to come back. When my face slowly started to come back, I thought that marked a change for me. I had what I loved so much and had taken for granted, taken away from me. And so I had a real appreciation for it, and I longed for it. I knew that I loved it, and that's what I wanted to do.
Jennifer Garner saw the love he had for acting and gave him a chance he never thought he'd have again.
Mark is an out of control, unbelievably amazing actor. 5 years ago, if you had said, list 3 or 4 actors that you would love to work with, he would have been at the top of my list.
I'll never forget the big thing, of course, in the dance sequence.
He came in and he hated the rehearsal process so much.
Jennifer, of course, caught on very quickly, and I was like the 4,000-pound gorilla trying to learn these moves. 200 extras standing around going, man, I could do that better than him. That guy sucks, man.
Mark almost let his bitterness control him, but his perspective had shifted.
Oh my gosh, you had a 1-year-old when we made that movie, and I wasn't a parent yet, so I didn't understand the enormity of that for you. I didn't get what you were bringing to work with you every day.
It took me 6 days to learn it, and it took Jennifer Garner 3 hours to learn it.
Nothing was more fun than watching Mark Ruffalo learn to do thriller.
I didn't know it was going to become iconic.
By taking back control of his life, Mark didn't just recover, he became even better.
It taught me that I was frail, and it also taught me that I was incredibly strong. But also that life is very tenuous, that it's fragile. You can't take it for granted.
I want to thank my family. One thing I've learned is that we are stronger together. My relationship with my wife deepened enormously. Understanding my strengths and my weaknesses, my ability to not give up or persevere, have all fed into my confidence and my willingness to be more fearless in the way I live my life. I've integrated it all into my life, and here I am, way better than I was then.